Derick Giwner along with Matt Rose here at DRF headquarters for another edition of Harness Spotlight. We have a great weekend of racing. It's Kentucky Derby weekend, but in harness racing, we have Ohio Sire Stakes, Pennsylvania Sire Stakes, Medowlands has a couple of stakes races, Freehold has the Dexter Cup, the Van Rose Memorial of Pocono, Miami Valley on Monday has Miami Valley Distaff and the Chip Noble Memorial. We're going to take a look at two races on Saturday, one at Freehold, one at the Meadowlands. We're going to start at Freehold, where we have the Dexter Cup, which is going for $133,000 this year. It's race number 10 on the Saturday card. And while some past editions, I think, maybe didn't come out as quite as nice as this one, this looks like a pretty good race. Yeah, this is a pretty solid competitive field, the three-year-old trotters. Nice to see all the big boys at Freehold for an afternoon. A lot of the top drivers, a lot of the top trainers. There's no standouts in this race. Some horses, a few horses that are Hamiltonian eligible that are looking forward to bigger and better things. It's a pretty good competitive race. Like I said in the past, we've had heavy favorites or logical horses that lead over the field. Can't say that this year, that's for sure. We have a few horses that didn't race in the elimination last week, and they're coming in off qualifiers. We'll touch on them in a second, but first, let's take a look at the elimination of the Dexter Cup last week, where we started with 8. We got knocked out a few of them. We're going down towards 3/4 here, and you see Giwner, who left hard and then yielded to On the Ropes, who didn't get the lead till off the second turn, is coming after him here. Yeah, both these horses are separated by a neck at the wire. They both put in solid efforts. Like you said, On the Ropes with the trainer, owner-trainer Oki Svanstedt driving. Prolonged lead from the 8 post. It's worth noting here before you go, if you look at the 6 on the far outside, he's going to take a little bit of a step there. Maybe that caused them a little issue with momentum. Yeah, but they weren't going to reach the top 2 anyway. I love the versatility of Giwner. Was able to leave quickly. Yielded and popped right out. Driver George Brennan had a lot of confidence to be able to pull at the 3/4 pole. Figure he had plenty of horse to get by the leader. It was able to edge by and didn't have to, without having to worry about getting stuck in from behind or anything like that. And although this is a competitive race, I think I'm going to go right back to him as my top choice. I like the decent post. You figure there's going to be a lot of horses forwardly placed, but this horse looks pretty safe, pretty solid. I think I'll come right back with him. Before I get to the horse that I'm picking on top here, I just want to touch on some of these horses coming in here. You have Don and Maxis, who are both coming out of the same qualifier at the Meadowlands. Both of them seem to show some speed. Maxis has never been on a half mile before, so he's a little bit tricky. I mean, I want to get a pretty good price there, considering that fact. You know what? You got Yannick Gingras driving for Jimmy Takter, like you said, never been on a half. Has 2 solid qualifiers, but off since last October. He can't leave the gate even if he tries to. I mean, there's so much speed, or horses are going to be leaving inside. Even where's Yannick going to go? He's going to float out probably to settle in 7th, or maybe improve a couple spots if there are unfortunately a couple of breakers. I agree. I'm on board with you. It wouldn't shock me to see him win if the front end fell apart. But yeah, you got to get a price on this horse. You know, while I'm a little bit worried that I'm going to get a bit of a short price here, I went with number 1, On the Ropes. I mean, I'm worried about the driver change giving me the short price going from Svanstedt to Dubé. Even though the one race you see Dubé's listed on him, he was the only time he didn't finish first or second in his career. But I just felt like the effort last week was spectacular. Yeah, he was left from post 8, got hung till almost off the second turn. I was going to say he was ready to roll right off the bat from the 8 hole. There was no taking back or anything in that race. And battled gamely right through to the wire behind the pockets, you know, to the pocket sitter. It was just a really good effort. First start since October. You got to think, you know, this son of Chapter 7 will only be a little bit better. And I just think from the rail and everything, I just think it's a great spot for this one. Yeah, I mean, I agree. I saw, much like everyone else, going to see the driver change to Dan Dubé. I would bet the horse if he had Svanstedt driving. It doesn't matter to me. This has been a very solid angle, Dan Dubé driving for Svanstedt, especially at Yonkers on the New York State Sire Stakes circuit. Yeah, as long as it is, the rail sometimes on a half-mile track with trotters is a little tricky, but there's no reason to think that this horse can't cut the corner, be safe. I don't know how much. I know he left from the 8 hole, but like I said, it was a prolonged move to the front. I don't think he's going to gun. Yeah, I don't know how much speed he can fire at that corner. But I'm safe ground. You know, get away the pocket, get away third. You know, just get away close enough that I think this is a horse that might be able to grind and still win a race. Yeah, I'm on board with you there, but I will stick with the. I liked what I saw with Giwner a little bit better last week, and I think he might have a better path to the front end again this week, and I'll take my chances from there.
Matt's going with number 3, Giwner, race 10 at Freehold on Saturday. I'm going with number 1, On the Ropes. It's an afternoon card at the Afternoon Delight. And we're going to go to an evening card now, and that's race number 7 at the Medowlands on Saturday night. It's the richest stakes race of the weekend, I believe, the $182,500 A.J. Cutler Memorial for the older trotters. And this is obviously a pretty strong field here, and the one to beat, no doubt, is number 12, Hanover, but she starts from the second tier.
Yeah, I mean, as reported by you, those 2 qualifiers on those morning sessions at the Meadowlands, Hanover's classy mares look super solid, ready to go. No reason to think she won't be 100%, but yeah, tricky 12-post. I have no doubt that Yanni Giwner will work out whatever perfect trip he can from that spot, but it is a bulky 12-horse field, and he does get stuck in second tier, and it is a mile and 1/8. So
that's what concerns me.
There's a longer run into the turn, so sometimes you can those second tier horses, when you get a bunch of levers, all of a sudden they can get buried, and Yannick might get away a few spots farther back than he would. I
mean, I'm looking at this race where I see the 6 Crazy Wow, the 8 Tuono, we'll call him T-Rex, T-Rex. Even the 10, I Know My Chip, are all horses that could potentially leave. Gorell Hanover always likes to leave. I mean, I just don't know where this leaves. And I feel like Hanover is going to start behind either the 2, the 3, the 4, wherever he lines up. I don't see any of those horses necessarily gunning out, to put him in a good spot. I just think this is a race where you have to play against Hanover. I'm not saying she's not the best horse. She is. I'm not saying she won't win. She very well might, but I just can't accept 4 to 5 on her in this particular spot. It's just not a great spot, despite how good she looked. One of the horses that could potentially be a price in here, and some people might be on, is number 3, Sutton. And we'll take a look at the replay of him winning the Shy Away St. Pat. He's on the lead here, cruising along through nice fractions, and really has no problems.
Yeah, I mean, he was able to 2-move to the lead. A decent clip, decent half, 55-3. This is only his 3rd start, and he has missed all of 2017. Obviously, you see Andy Miller's pretty much in hand here, and a safe winner to the wire. But I suspect he'll have to get used harder or go a little bit faster to beat these.
Was always a really good horse. Obviously missed the time, didn't start at all as a 4-year-old. The question is this horse ready to step up and be a top older trotter? Against some tough competition.
We will see. It's definitely a step up. We haven't seen this horse since he's a 3-year-old. Now he's facing much more seasoned, aged horses. That it might be too much to ask this early in the stake season. That's my only knock on Sutton.
All right, I'm going to jump right in with my pick here. I'm going to take a shot with number 2, Mambo Lindy. Even though driver Tim Dietrich has decided to take the 4, we'll take charge, and we're going to get. Though I'm not upset with Scott Zirin in the bike. I've always been the first one to say that sometimes drivers make decisions that have nothing to do with the actual horse, and I felt like his first start of the year last time out was a solid effort, and I felt like he was short and still raced well. Like, I don't think that was his best effort. I think we're going to see a much better horse this week from this 7-year-old. I think there's enough speed on the outside to set up a late rally from him, and hopefully he's sitting 2nd or 3rd over with a chance to close.
You got to like his winning record. 10 for 18 last year. Won more than half of his lifetime starts. How about me throwing a bomb out there? How about the 9 Warwi Roo? Could he get away 12th in this race off the gate? I suppose.
It's tough to pass 12 horses.
I don't think that's going to happen. I can see, like we mentioned, with the long run to the first turn, maybe Dan Dubé can try to float out. Listen, this horse has raced well in limited appearances and limited stakes appearances, basically all over 2 countries. We've seen this horse race well here in the past. He's going to be coming late. Could he get into the race? Could there be something crazy up front? Possibly. I mean, we're looking at this race like they're going to be closers. I imagine if he's behind Hanover at any point, he's not going to pass that mare. But maybe Dan Dubé. Sometimes you get these horses from the outside in these mile and 1/8 races. You don't expect to leave, and drivers take a shot. They're able to slide right in somewhere. he should be a big price. Why not take a stab in a race where we agree, let's beat Hanover, and there's a whole bunch of other options.
Since we're giving out long shot plays, I'll also throw out the T-Rex, who's number 8, Tuano Blue Rex.
Yes.
That horse was every bit as good as Hanover in the one qualifier we saw him in. He really was, followed all the way, was completely wrapped up. It was a really nice effort, and he has some speed, could get away very close to the pace here. And I'm just saying, I wouldn't throw him off my tickets.
Your key is what you said, that one qualifier.
Well, it is that one
Hanover
qualifier.
had 2. We know what we're getting.
More.
Could they have qualified this horse twice? Maybe they were confident that he was going to be ready to go off one qualifier. You do note that you're getting Corey Callahan listed to drive for the team Andy and Julie Miller tonight, with Andy Miller opting to drive Sutton.
They don't let him drive 2 horses?
No, I don't think, unless they're side by side, I guess. Listen, I didn't toss him out. I think he'll be somewhere on my tickets, as will Crazy Wow, where you know what you're getting going in. But I'm going to take a stab that something that we're not expecting happens. I'm going to try to squeeze Warri Roo with Dan Dubé. Try to slide him on the ticket somewhere.
AJ Cutler Memorial's race number 7 on a Saturday night Meadowlands card. They also have 2 divisions of the Graduate Series for 4-year-old pacers. It's a really strong race here with Hanover, and everyone wants to see the horse of the year compete. We'll be watching, and then we'll be back next week. Maybe we'll talk about her again. Good luck.